I've got kicked out of ice cream places for liking rainbow sprinkles. I'm not kidding.
What?
I got in an argument with this person in Beverly Hills.
Did they only have chocolate sprinkles?
No, it was a gelato place. It cost me like $50 for ice cream. I go, you got any rainbow sprinkles? He goes, how dare you? And I said, go yourself. This is Beverly Hills. I don't give a... I just want... So I don't know. Maybe there are some
sugar on my sugar, damn it. Give me sugar on my sugar. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Medium Podcast. It's your host, Melissa Nami.
And it's me, Connor.
And for today's guest, we've got comedian Johnny Gold.
Yay.
Welcome.
Me.
Welcome to the pod, Johnny.
I always love seeing you.
Thank you for being here.
You guys are great.
You're the man, dude. Tell me, how's everything going? How's comedy been for you?
Well, getting right into it. Huh? It's good.
Yeah?
There's the answer. Yeah, it's been tough because of what happened to Nick, the last 6 months. So I've kind of changed a lot of stuff that I do, and I'm still doing what I do. I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, of course. No, that
I don't go back to the grind anymore because I went there and I got there like 10 minutes after. I sometimes see you leave. I think it might have been that day I saw you leaving.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't that much after it started. And then I've done this before. I've stayed to the end, and then I bought Carlos a beer and I helped him pack up and I take the trash out.
Yeah.
But this time I couldn't get on, and I was a little upset because at the time I was trying to I was getting ready for a couple of showcases, so I was hitting a couple spots a night, and I had to leave and go to Chatterbox and show up at Chatterbox 2.5 hours late and ask to go on, which I hate doing.
Really?
Well, they said, yeah, you can go on. They were cool about it, but I just didn't understand why I didn't get on. Nobody came up to me. I felt bad for Sandy because Sandy said, I'm sorry. I said, I don't get mad at Sandy. I thought it was disrespectful. So I told myself, especially after Nick passed away, that the only reason I really went there is because of Nick, because we always used to get the soup. What is that place called down the street?
Sakura Ramen?
Yeah.
The place was really good.
Yeah, and then we hang out with Leo. I like the buddy system. It's just, and I think they do a lot of good for new comics. It's just, I listened to a couple of your podcasts. I listened to the one recently when Carlos came back from New York. It just seems like they're so negative, and everything is negative and a bummer, and I'm quitting, and don't come and shake my hand. I just don't. Listen, I go to an open mic. I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care. What do you mean?
I have written down right here, you're the amateur comics #1 advocate.
I mean,
You really are.
I love you, Sandy. I mean, I don't know everybody, but Sandy, C's. I even asked C's before my Chatterbox show. I was rather nervous because the first time I did it, I was too nervous. And of course, Leo was there, and Leo is very honest. He was like, man, your pants were falling down. It was so embarrassing. They were.
Damn it, Leo.
I know. I was like, Leo, you bastard.
He's noticing the small things.
Yeah, he is so honest. He's goofy.
Yeah.
But he's nice about it. He goes, it's just, and so I said, okay, I'm going to take a new approach to doing it the second time. So I went up a lot to just work on some shit.
Yeah.
And so I just approached it totally different. And so, I went up 6 times a week. I just tried to just work on stand-up.
Yeah.
And then a couple days before, I had this joke about Taylor Swift. And it was nothing about Taylor Swift. It was some girl bumped into me at Chatterbox and spilt a drink on me. On my white pants, which is sacrilegious. She didn't even say shit, Connor. She came back in front of me and went like this.
Fuck?
So I was talking to C's because I love C's writing. I love Sandy for all the great reasons he's good, and Nikki P and Melissa, of course. But C's tends to write like an older person about his family and his dad telling him to get a job. And he likes, I don't know, I just gravitate. And he said, hey, that's going to be a good joke.
Yeah.
So I used it. And it's just, you know, it went very well for the second time. I was happy. And I got that one good clip out of it that was on social media.
The Tesla truck clip?
Yeah, that was cool. And the reason I did that, I wanted to shout out
Hilarious.
to Angie, and thank you, Angie Cunanan. You know Angie.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
Her, Gil from the Mind Buzz podcast, Rick Bravo, Darby Cash, all the people that run that mic, they were like saying, how come you don't put stuff on the internet? You know, I'm kind of shy on that. You know, it's kind of masturbatory by, hey, look at me, you know. But Angie goes, I want you to buy a tape for that set. I'm editing, trying to get an editing job. I'll edit it for you for free.
Yeah.
I said, all right. Then it turned out, and I was happy with it. I don't know. I've put stuff on. I've gotten some cruel comments on stuff from my own friends, of course, you know, about my looks or whatever, in 2009. So that was a while ago.
Were you not as stylish in 2009?
No, I was very
say,
stylish. That's not it. They would go, oh, he looks like Johnny Depp transitioning. He looks emaciated. Of course, I knew he was gay. Nothing. I'm not gay. I'm straight, but who cares what I am? I was just like, I can't believe I put this on Instagram. And I was like, oh, God, this isn't for me. Yeah. I just don't have the... And this is KJ. These are people that I are friends with. So when I put that clip of the Tesla joke on there, I said, fuck it. I don't give a shit. Whatever. I put it on Instagram. I knew a lot of people, like, I think you said on a podcast, when you put something out there on YouTube, sometimes it doesn't get viewed that much, but on Instagram, everybody views it because that's like the number one site for, I think, entertainers.
Yeah. I have a clip on YouTube.
Yeah, somebody sent it to me. It was good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Someone showed it?
I couldn't believe
Someone
it.
could see it?
Yeah.
I did it because I was like, maybe no one will see this.
Right.
But that's why I got really, which it's like, it's very, I hate using the word brave, but
Right.
it's so scary
It
putting
is
ourselves
brave.
out there because it's even like you're saying, your
Yeah.
close friends that are like, oh, you're a dork, you're a goober, what?
It wasn't like that, Melissa. What I remember, I started like doing stand-up comedy around 2005. And when YouTube came out in 2007, this is how bold I thought I was. There was this guy who graduated from USC, a film student. And he goes, hey, I'd like to film you for YouTube. I go, what's that? He goes, just pay me $75. He had this like $10,000 camera. And he filmed me all over Long Beach. I didn't have a problem with it.
What were you doing?
I was just doing stand-up poetry. I was like, hey, man, could you put some music in? I was like, oh, I didn't give a shit because at the time, there wasn't bad comments.
Yeah.
On all my old clips, I have not one bad comment. It's just recently.
The keyboard bully.
Yeah.
Emerged.
There was nothing like that because it was so new. Now I could see why it's tough. I think Lara Bites, you know, the comic?
I'm not sure.
Well, she lost a lot of weight, and she's a very good joker. I like Jessica Rosas. She said she saw so many things about her looks. And her boyfriend said, don't look at those.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's kind of hard not to notice it if you're in the industry we are.
Oh, yeah.
You notice shit like that. I mean, I'd rather have somebody come tell me to my fucking face. Like, you know, hey.
People don't got the guts like that anymore, Johnny. People hide up behind their keyboards. They hide behind their screens.
Right.
They get very brave. They find the audacity to say things they'd never say in person. And recently, I feel like that's been bleeding through to reality.
It has.
With like Karens and stuff like that. Is like that bravery that they were facing behind the screen now is bleeding into reality, and they're losing their jobs and shit. Like,
Well, like I was on a podcast, and Gil's wife from the Mind Buzz said I was doom scrolling, and I go, what the fuck is that? And then I got into it with Carissa because she said, hey, you're liking somebody on, I'm not going to mention the name because she'll freak out. You're liking another comic that I don't like. And I'm like, who the fuck? I don't know anybody. I see somebody that I know, I hit a heart.
yeah.
And if they're out of town, I go, be safe. Just like anybody. Who are these people?
Yeah. You're not placing so much value on it.
No, I place value with the human connection. And if you're that, you know, I think the guy who started the buddy system, I won't even mention his name. He didn't actually start it. You know, Stephanie Michelle started it. And she couldn't work with him. If you can't work with Stephanie Michelle, you're heartless, because she's fantastic.
She's a really nice gal.
Great mom.
Oh, she seems like she'd be such a cool mom. She likes the Powerpuff Girls, and she likes Pokemon and shit.
So,
I would geek. Dude, if my mom was down to geek out with me...
She was so easy to get along with. But the guy who started the buddy system, and I think that's the problem with it now, he was so negative. He bullied Nick Laney, he bullied Chris, he bullied a lot of people. He didn't even... One time he told me, he goes, I don't follow my friends, because if they're doing better than me, then I get mad. And I think that's
weird.
doom scrolling, maybe. I don't know. I go, you're not happy for people, whether you like their comedy or not. If... I don't know these people. If a friend of mine, Shane Biaggi, just got passed at the Comedy Store and he got an agent. Awesome. I don't know him. I met him at Chatterbox. We talked. He came up to him. We talked to his compadres. Great, good for him. I don't care. But seems that people care about social media. Maybe people your age do.
I think it's my age group's at the cusp of it, I'd say.
Right, yeah.
Like, luckily I remember being in college when Instagram first started up, and it was an outrageous website. People were posting their private parts. They were posting like,
oh really?
What are they called? Like live feed videos or whatever, like unedited, grotesque videos.
Where was this at?
On Instagram.
Oh, I didn't know.
When it first came out,
Reels, yeah.
It was nuts what they would have on there as far as photos, and I remember being in college, and luckily your prefrontal cortex a little more developed, and I remember what it's like to interact with people face to face, so I still value that. I think it's like, I'm 31, so maybe people 24, 23 and younger, because a lot of their socializing's been done through the screen.
Right.
You know, there was never a time when I was in high school where I was hanging out with my friends on a Friday night and we're all on our phones.
Yeah, that's weird.
We were all just together.
I'm glad I missed that.
I'm really glad I missed that too, right? Yeah. I'm not a part of it. Like, Chantel compared it to people on Instagram saying they wish they could go to millennial parties, because when people my age had high school parties, they were, again, interacting, versus now everyone's taking photos, taking selfies, posting on Instagram. And
yeah, I see a lot of that. And when we went to Palm Springs and did comedy, which is way too far. I like the comedy on the rocks, but I have a line I will not cross with white people. When they are so white that I can't go in there, I feel uncomfortable as a white man. I'm not going back.
I get that.
They were people like in Portland, Oregon.
It was that white?
The people who run it, they're the two of the whitest fucking people. It was a great mic, and they're great people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was lucky Sandy and C's and
you got
Rick
a little
Bravo.
bit of a melting pot in there.
Yeah, Carissa was there. Everybody.
You showed
was
up with your Hispanic ensemble.
Yeah, but I was like talking to him, and I was talking to him white on white. You know, it's white person to white person, and I'm like, oh God, this is Portland, Oregon white. This is not good.
Yeah,
it's horrible. It's like,
tell me what Portland. Okay, that.
Yeah, Whole Foods and Irvine white. Oh my goodness, though, they white, and then you feel bad. Like, I wrote this whole bit about going to that Whole Foods in Irvine, which is the best Whole Foods.
I don't like Whole Foods.
Oh, you don't like it? Well, I just go in there when I'm starving. So I mean, I could go into anywhere, and
they have that whole cafeteria thing going on. That is cool.
No, what I do is I go in there and I play a character where I've never been in a Whole Foods, because I'm in my workout outfit. You know, I got grease all over. I go, I go to Winco. Do you know where that is? I go, Winco. You've never been to Whole Foods? I go, what do you got here? He goes, have you ever had Korean barbecued wings? I go, is that even possible? He goes, here's 4, sir. Here's some fun. I could eat all day in there and just be like totally stupid and never been to Whole Foods. That's why I like it. But yeah, I guess you have to be white to see it. You can't be.
My Arab goggles don't let me see it.
It's like, look, I fought for gay rights. I'm straight, but I don't give a fuck what you are. But my mom, after she retired from acting, was a campaign manager. She fought for gun control. She fought when people were dying of AIDS. I was like, 1920, and I go, what are these people in here? They're dying. They were literally dying in somebody's house.
Yeah.
So I have a soft spot and kindness for just treating people all the same. But I don't know what it's like to be gay. I don't know what it's like to be scared out of your mind walking home, maybe getting killed. That's true. That's what happens. That's what... So I guess you have to be white to understand how white the comedy rocks is.
I got hate crimed one time in Palm Springs.
Sure.
I was walking down the street, Chantel and I, and someone threw a water balloon at me. They missed, but they threw a water balloon. They shouted something. I don't know if it was actually a hate crime. They were just probably drunk assholes. But
no,
they threw a water balloon.
That's when they get drunk. They get the premier comics in the world. The guy who just, I don't want to mention names because I don't want a lawsuit. So, you know, the guy who just had his special, he goes, oh, Michelle Obama was a man. These people my age, this is what's going to happen. Once they get rid of my generation and the boomers, Gen X and boomers, and somewhat of millennials, and have Gen Z people having kids, I think it will be a lot better for human rights. I think because... when I perform at colleges, that's how I met Angie. I performed at her college like 20 times.
Okay.
There's gay, there's trans. Who cares? Just get your head out of your ass because it's a hate crime.
Yeah, be humble, be kind, be a contributing member of society. And that's it.
I love how these people, like the leaders in comedy, the couple of them I can think of, have specials about trans people. And I'm like, dude, you have kids. What happens is, this is what happens. If you have a daughter and let's say she gets married and you go, here's your grandmother's wedding ring, pass this down. And here's your grandfather's Klan outfit, pass this down. That's exactly what that dummy is doing, those two comics that we know we're talking about. One has a podcast, one is black. How about that? And they have kids. The kids see this shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, you're right. And that's how generations get spoiled. It's because they learn how to just regurgitate the negativity that they were,
right.
They were just taking in at home.
I don't know what this obsession with trans people are from people that are supposedly straight. That's what came of that test.
It's weird.
It's very strange, isn't it?
It's weird. Everybody being obsessed with trans people, they're the weird ones, 100%.
It's,
I agree.
dude, live your motherfucker. What was that on Curb Your Enthusiasm? Can a brother live a life? You know?
Are you quoting Leon?
Yeah. Just fucking live your...
JB Smooth, let's go.
Right. I live in a very conservative neighborhood. And the stuff I hear about Trump and trans and this and that, and I look at these people and I go, God, these people are just... There's something, like I said, something deep.
Yeah.
Maybe it just scares them.
The second I hear a comic bring up stuff like that in an unoriginal way, it's boring.
It's really hate speech. And I mean, I don't know many people have been kicked out of an open mic, but I would literally, they don't stand for that at Chatterbox because they have that non-binary list. Say what you want about Chatterbox. I know you said it was kind of like a one-note thing. It is an open mic. There's a lot of good comics down there.
I had a good time the one time that I went. Yeah. It was my one-time observation was, and I'm not from LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was, and also you should, you caught me leaving back to the grind at 7:35.
That's okay.
So as soon as I went up, I was on my way home. I know your
schedule.
Yeah, I try to sleep.
Chatterbox, let's give the down part of Chatterbox first. It's very pretentious. Steve will get on the mic, and I love Steve. It took me a while. It was up to... Nick Laney's the one who told me to go there. I was tired of it. He didn't even like my comedy. He told Leo that I was like just a weird guy. Fucking Leo had to tell me. He said I was too edgy or something stupid. I took it as an open mic in a bar in Covina. I didn't give a fuck where it is. But Nick Laney wanted to get passed for the Sunday show. So I said, okay, I'll go with you and we'll do it. I'll take your advice and do a proper set for him. And I did it. But he does get up there and go, there's some good comics here tonight and there's some bad comics here.
Oh, my gosh.
He does stuff like that. And they have a separate list, which some people seem to have a problem with. I don't.
I think it's cool because if I go, I could go up at a decent time.
That's why Angie goes there.
Yeah.
She gets there first. She goes up second.
Yeah,
and I love it. It hurts me because if I'm number 17 and there's 10 non-binary, I go up 27.
Yeah.
That's whatever. There was a couple things I want to bring up because I listened to your podcast and it was a little bit disturbing to hear from George. I love George. We had a kind of a meeting of minds after Nick died. He texted me, he goes, can we just have a truce? Because, I've talked shit about him on podcasts. Like
Johnny, you?
Yeah. Well,
talk shit?
I like the podcast to be entertaining. I'm not going to be listening to them bitch and, hey, man, this guy didn't high-five me. That shouldn't be your problem, William Henderson. Your problem should be that you should start doing what you're supposed to do. Coming there completely sober and putting your work in. That's what it is. Huh?
Will's funny.
I plead the fifth. I'm going to plead the fifth. I told you the people I like. Sandy, and I like Will. Sandy, C's, Melissa, Nikki P. David Diaz is a trip.
Oh, yeah.
That motherfucker's crazy.
Talk about edgy.
Yeah,
he's edgy.
Well, he has his own thing. He told me what he does. It's like a satire. None of it's true.
Duh.
I know, but some people, he goes, John, this lady came up to me and said, I can't come back. I'm like, well, she's an idiot.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that they said some things on a podcast that worried me because they talked about you doing, he said he gave you a note or something. I listened to the podcast, George. He says sometimes when you go hard being gay, the audience looks at you funny. And I'm like, wait a minute, motherfucker. Two things. You don't know what the fucking audience is thinking, ever. If you did, you'd quit comedy. You wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be fun.
The element of surprise. Would be gone,
but no, what I'm saying is when you're up there talking, it's your job to do whatever you do. But you don't spoon feed them that you're gay. You just write stuff about your life. What do you mean looking at the audience and they're shocked? I've never anybody that said anything shocking. I never look at the audience and go, yeah, that guy doesn't like you. Have you ever talked to people after you do a show? Because I have.
Audience members?
They think completely opposite of what is in your mind. Nothing. You never prejudge the audience. You just go do your shit.
Yeah.
I had people coming to me after Chatterbox, and these two guys came up to me, and I was kind of scared. They were like bros. They're like the way you look. I didn't expect that. That was very nice. I was afraid to ask them what I look like. I wanted to get away from them.
Yeah.
So you really don't sell. He said you gotta. I don't know how to sell a joke. You don't sell a joke. I don't understand. You just tell your story.
Are you referring to what he said about me when I said sometimes I feel as though I lose the audience when I begin?
Yeah, you also said that when they don't like your gay stuff, you have a 12-minute set. When this is all because you just started doing comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has nothing to. You're great. I love you. I already think you and the people I mentioned, Nikki, Sandy, see, they have Nikki P, they have all Sandy and C's. They have this special thing where I know they don't listen to the buddy system anymore because they're smart. Here's the thing. You shouldn't listen to anybody. Just do what you do and experience what you experience. But, like I said, I'm not gay. But I can tell you one thing. I don't judge people by their sexual preferences. I never have, ever since I was a kid. I never walked up to a person and go, oh, you're gay. And no, never. Who taught these people? You just tell your story. Maybe you're thinking too much about your family. They don't like the gay stuff. You're a young person, you know. I'm
definitely projecting insecurities when I say that. I'm very self-aware of that.
That would be more daring than saying stay away from it. You could tell.
I don't stay away from it. I still go for it, and I'm just like, please like me.
Yeah, you can tell the audience that you're scared too. That's what art is.
Yeah.
You could say,
are you guys gonna reject me like my mother?
Whatever. Now this.
No, my mother's the best. My mom's the best.
Hi, Mom. Mateo Lane.
Hilarious.
Right. Now, first of all, I love his fashion. I love fashion. I just like the way he comes. He's like a 1970s gay.
Oh yeah, he's super he's just wearing retro Levi's, t-shirt, cool Adidas.
And I don't think he worries about if people like him or not. Although I don't know how long he's been doing comedy. I think he's from New York, maybe. I don't know.
I will say I went and saw his show because Chantel's brother is gay.
Okay.
And so he loves him. So we went and we got him tickets for his birthday. We all went to the show. And Mateo Lane himself, he asked the audience, he's like, "Are there any straight men in the audience tonight?" And two or three guys went, "Ooh," and he's all, "What the hell are you doing here?"
That's funny.
But then when you looked around, like he had we were at the Brea Improv.
Oh, okay.
Sold out queer crowd for the most part.
Nice.
95% queer.
I'll tell you how dangerous it is. Good for him. When I first started, my first open mic, this gay and lesbian couple came up to me and they go, "You know what? You'd be perfect to host our gay and lesbian festival in Irvine." I go, "I would?" He goes, "Yeah, I like your deep voice. And I think that you could get people to listen." I go, "This is the first time I've done comedy. I'll think about it."
Yeah.
And then like a year later, they said, "Hey, I need you in Irvine for the whole weekend." This was 2005-ish or 4 was when I first started. They had to escort people to their dorm room because they had a lot of hate speech.
Wow.
In the news, because it was a big thing. It was like they had bands and stuff, and it was in the Irvine campus.
Yeah.
So they had a drag show, and so I know how dangerous it is, but I don't think people care about that when they're performing, when they do all this hate speech. They just, they just don't. Maybe they just don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever. I just want you to be safe, and your girlfriend, and anybody. Mateo Lane or anybody. I don't think people have heard of Matthew Shepard because he died 24 years ago. He's strung up in a cornfield and killed by 2 gay people. I mean, not gay people. That would be weird.
We're fighting back, everyone.
We're going to kill this gay man. We're going to kill this gay man to prove that gay people
You don't
can
know,
kill
but right
him.
now I have an army of gay people outside ready to get you guys. I'm going to get you.
And they strung this kid up who's a gay kid, and these 2
That's really sad.
hillbillies that probably were closeted gay that never were accepted. They beat the shit out of him with the end of a butt of a gun, and the cops found him. They thought he was a scarecrow, and they made the play The Laramie Project, but nobody remembers that. It's
Where was that at?
It was in Montana. Yeah. So, but I heard that and I thought that is a weird way to do comedy. To sell your jokes and to worry about that. And someday you'll come to that meeting, and it'd be nice if you could talk to Mateo Lane. That would be cool.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. They have meet and greets. You could ask him about that.
Yeah.
I dated a comic that did the, what are those songs? Parody songs? And we met the guy afterwards, and she asked him, "Hey, how do you do these parody songs?" And this idiot goes, "You're not going to steal my act, are you?"
Whoa.
I go, "Dude, shut the fuck." The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can go up afterwards and ask, I guess.
No, I'm aware that I have those slight insecurities,
Sure.
and certain venues and certain areas, like when I perform in San Diego, it's I feel like for the most part, I don't know if it might be overstepping when I say it, but we all have a small bit of insecurity.
Of course.
When
Big
you get
time.
that first laugh or it feels like an acceptance from the audience.
Right.
I can kind of let that down. So there's times where I would open up with different types of jokes, and recently I had been opening up with a more Middle Eastern, talking about my culture, and then I switch into and that's what George was saying. He's like, he said, I don't think he meant it in a negative way. I think he meant it in a way of like, out of nowhere now you're a lesbian, versus before I was just talking about being Lebanese, my culture, whatever. So I saw it more of a, like, and I get what you're saying. I don't need to let the audience know. They should be smart enough, but Johnny, they're not. Some people are not.
You bring up valid points. All this is a waste of time. You just get up, listen. I listen to William Henderson. I don't tell people I have a job. Well, motherfucker, who gives a fuck if you have a job? Your job is to entertain people. Now, look, he's been doing comedy 9 years. You've been doing comedy like 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
So you, Nikki P, and C's and Sandy and whoever else has been doing it 2 to 3 years, you're trying to figure everything out. In 5 or 6 years, you'll just be going up there if you're doing this seriously. If it's for a hobby, it doesn't matter. Go down and shoot up heroin and go on stage and then execute yourself with your drool from the micro. I don't care, but if you're taking
see that
this
a lot, don't you?
If you're taking this shit seriously, You should be completely sober. You should dress nice. You should be in shape. You should eat right. You do all this. You know, Sandy and C's, they need to come back, and Rick Bravo come back on the partying a little. But they're also very young. So, you know, I want them to have fun, and they'll get out of it because you won't be able to do it. Once you become in your mid-30s or late 30s, it ain't going to happen. You won't be able to get out of bed. Like to do a show, like if you get off work at 5.
You're just too tired, too exhausted.
I mean, that's what I would think, but some of these people, they still do it. I just think it's not cool. And I think when you're completely sober and you're real with yourself and you just be on stage and let yourself just be, that's the best. Like after my thing at Chatterbox, it was an okay set. But the next week I went up there with some stuff I worked on, and I said the most horrendous things because I told them that the only reason I came out as Jewish is because of the Gaza conflict. Because I was tired of people, my last name's Gold, so they'd ask me about the conflict. And then I would always say, well, I took Hamas's side. And they go, how could you as a Jew? I go, because it sounds like hummus. And I love hummus. And I went on stage and I go, if you got to kill some Jews to get good hummus, I'm down with it. That is the purest of art form for me. You write differently. The buddy system, whatever they do differently. Rick Bravo, all those people, you have your own thing. You'll eventually find it. But when somebody tells you that you have to sell a joke, you'll find out later on when you do this, you'll find out that you'll just come to it naturally. And I don't know if your family accepts you for being gay. I don't know. You know, that's a big thing. You know, I think when you're a kid, you want your family to be behind you if you're gay, I would assume.
I'd love for my family to be happy for me. And I think some of them are,
yeah,
genuinely.
That's hard. And they come see you, and then you're talking about having a girl. What's wrong with these people? I just don't get it, Connor.
Yeah, it's different. Come from a different cut of the cloth, right?
Yeah, it's just privilege. You know what I mean? You were privileged to grow up here in the States, where a lot of people, you know, you're talking about a singular instance where someone was persecuted for their sexuality,
right?
Versus, you know, my mother, my father, they come, and the way I like to think of it is, it's not so much of a hateful perspective; it's more of a protective perspective, because all they want for, you know, they left the Middle East, they left war to come here and give their children an easy life.
Sure. And
they're worried against like discrimination, persecution, because they were persecuted and discriminated against simply for being Christian.
Right.
You know, so when you're bred, you know, when you're cut from a cloth that's typically breeding hate, because unfortunately that's how my homeland is. You know, how do you say it? Like hate begets hate or whatever. Like,
they don't accept people. They don't even have women's rights. A lot of them over there. They don't even. They cut out the.
Well, it's ironic, you know, like women in Lebanon, their fight for their rights is like let's say you have a child with a Lebanese woman, right? That child wouldn't be able to get Lebanese citizenship because the mother cannot naturalize her kids.
Oh, that's crazy.
So this kid, you know, that is her, let's say, daughter, son.
Sure.
Now they're an American citizen, and in theory, if you and her didn't have a, you know, cohesive whatever, you could just snatch that kid and she can't do shit.
I think that was Equalizer 2. The opening.
But you know what I mean? As far as like
stop watching movies.
The difference in what women are fighting for here versus what they're fighting for there. It's all different, you know, and that's where I say I feel like it comes from more of a protective, like.
Yeah, of course. They love you.
Yeah.
Regardless.
That's what
they say. Like if your daughter or whatever. I mean, my parents, you know, rest in peace. I don't know. It was a hard life, but, you know, they didn't understand mental illness, and my brother was severely mentally ill. It skipped over one sibling myself, but I've got my own issues. They just didn't understand mental illness. You know, in the 40s, they were cutting the frontal lobe out of your brain.
They were doing lobotomies.
Yeah.
This will make you feel better.
Right. And they were doing the Edison treatment, the shock therapy. Yeah. And then they slowly got medication. But their parents, they were like so backwards. They're like, what's wrong with your brother? I'm like, I don't know. He's got mental illness. Nobody even knew what it was in the 70s. So now it's That's one good thing about social media. I'll give that. There's mental illness is out there. It's more prevalent. People like in comedy shows, when I talk about it, they go, yeah, I have, thank you, Johnny. I have a mentally ill, autistic kid and stuff like that.
Homosexuality was considered a mental illness until
Right.
the 70s.
Yeah.
That's only 50 plus, like barely 50 years ago.
I was living in San Francisco then, and it was
Yeah.
fantastic.
It was in the what's it called, the ATD, whatever, the American Psychiatric, like it was in the official American book until the 70s.
There was a great line in Reality Bites, Ben Stiller's 1994 movie, which was fantastic. He wrote it. Is some of the best work he ever did. And Ethan Hawke and Winona Ryder are kind of falling in love kind of weirdly. And she's kind of going through this crisis as a 20-year-old, and she goes to Ethan Hawke. Why can't it just be like the Brady Bunch? You ever see the Brady Bunch? Where everything ends good. And Ethan Hawke says, because Robert Brady died of AIDS, and he did in real life.
Yeah.
So
America's Dad, or
yeah,
TV
and
Dad.
I think that it's sad what they do in other countries, but I think one great thing about comedy, you are accepted for being kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool seeing all your weird friends, And is that like in music, Connor?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, that's why I like entertainment in general.
Creatives.
Right. You're allowed to be weird and say what you want. You have to deal
It's
with
great
it.
to say whatever you want.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, what do you feel as though I've taken any of that advice that you disagree with too strongly? Because I do feel like I can confidently say I've taken most advice anyone's given me with a grain of salt. Like, I've had people tell me, you won't find your voice for 4 years. I'm like, what's going to change about my voice?
All right, let's go back to what William Henderson did. Let's make it interesting. He said Sandy couldn't do 25 minutes. Let me break this down for William Henderson.
Hey, he's my friend.
I know I love William Henderson. I went out.
Don't air quote his name.
But wait a minute.
It's his name.
William Henderson. Hello, William Henderson. I went out with you to buy a car.
You said William Henderson. like he's faking his identity. Like, do I not trust William Henderson?
Well, I mean, he's from Michigan. I love him. Let me back this up.
Johnny, I'm just teasing.
You know you can't tease an emotional person. Okay. When William Henderson had a podcast in 2017 at the Improv, when he worked there, it was fantastic. Cool. He's nothing like that now. He said to me, he goes, I'm doing this showcase. All the door people are performing at the old Brea Improv. I said, hey, I'm going to come down and check that out because he got to showcase 20 minutes. And he was the best one.
Yeah.
I said, William, great job. Everybody else sucked. You were fantastic. I couldn't even believe it. I didn't even know him that well.
Yeah.
Now, go forward 7 years. It's not the same William Henderson. I don't know if it's drugs or whatever. He's a good guy. There's nothing. George and Carlos and all these people, except that Aaron Chase guy. He's a psych. He has the personality of a roof shingle. He is just the worst person you'll ever meet. I don't care if he hears that. He's just a psychopath. He bullied Nick Laney. I'll never forgive him for that.
He's far away now, right?
I don't care where he is. Anyway, he said Sandy couldn't do 25 minutes, or he hasn't done it enough. Okay, let's break it down. The guy that just got past at the Comedy Store, I don't know him very well. I just see him at Chatterbox, Shane Bianchi. He's great. He does these like one-liners. He's a really good writer. I said, how long have you been doing comedy, man? He goes, 6 years. 6 years?
Yeah.
And he's like 27, so he started when his brain wasn't even formed. Yeah. I go, how did that happen? He goes, I went up 10 times a week for 6 years, and I never missed a day, and I ran my own room. I go, that's the answer. So, Sandy, to get ready for that 25 minutes, I was with him most of the time. I did a lot of shows with him. He was preparing for that, and he did fantastic. If you put in an enormous amount of time, 5 years or whatever they tell you to find your voice, you could find it sooner.
Yeah. I agree with that statement. I agree with that sentiment entirely.
I mean, you're talking about, I don't know how much Will goes up. I don't do a lot of comedy with him. his first girlfriend was beautiful. I got to shout him out. Gosh, she was gorgeous. She looked like Nia Long from, she was. But last time I saw her, I think Jay Light, the comic, was so bad. I was sitting next to Will's girlfriend. I think that's why they broke up. Jay Light was on the show. I was like, see ya. Williams Henderson's going to have to get a new girlfriend after this performance. But
is that like a guy that used to come around the scene, or
no? He headlined one of the first buddy system shows at the Ontario Improv.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's fantastic. I told him initially, I said, hey, when you guys get, do this more often, just have the local people on, because it's like his scene. They put a lot of work. Buddy system puts a lot of work in.
Yeah,
they do. That show is a bitch, and I'm glad. But Sandy put the work in. He did good. And so, like you said, that getting back to what you said, 4 years, I don't know. It's up to the individual.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Eddie Griffin, the famous comic, he said the first time he went on stage, he talked for 2 hours, and he was great.
What?
All right, well, whatever. That's him.
God damn, who let him on stage for 2 hours?
The Comedy Store. So he was always like he could tell. Some people are just like that.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to find what I'd like to do because I fucked around a lot and didn't take it seriously, stuff like that. So I don't know. It's up to the person.
I agree with that.
I thought that was kind of a backhanded backhanded thing. He said he likes Sandy, but he also said that he shouldn't do 25 minutes. I disagree with that.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you on that. There's no world where I wouldn't think Sandy was capable of doing 25 minutes.
No.
Even, I mean, and I guess this is for the buddy system, they're on a riff night. If you're providing a place for people to be able to riff off the top of their heads
right
once a week, you should be able to assume they could maybe do 7 minutes of riffing in a real set, right? Or crowd work or what have you.
It was a local headlining show. He wasn't headlining Carnegie Hall. I don't know what William Henderson does for a living, but of course, he headlined Grey Wolf.
Yeah.
That's like a first step.
That's awesome.
And he was so nervous. He was like this cute little kid, kind of like, he didn't even look like the usual Sandy because he knew he had to do 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But Stephanie said he did great and whatever. I don't know how long it takes. I've seen that Shane guy. Look at him. He's great after 6 years.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it. There's a lot of people that are great, but
It all comes with time, I believe, but also it's your emphasis. It's fuck.
What's making it?
For 2 years for one person looks different for another person.
Yeah.
Right. And we can use fitness as an analogy, right? If you're dedicated and you're eating healthy, going to the gym, you're not missing out days.
Right.
Then your fitness level after 2 years of beginning a journey is going to be way farther than someone
right.
who decided to take a week off, wasn't taking it seriously, was taking a shot of tequila before they ran a mile. You know what I mean? Like,
that sounds dangerous.
I know, but I'm just comparing partying and fitness and workout. You know what I mean?
Just running up the street with a
But
big bottle of tequila.
You get what I mean? Like,
no, it's true with sports. That's a great example.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer of practice how you play how you practice.
Right.
Those
and you
those
always
two are
come
hand in
together.
hand.
The CJ Stroud. Here's some football. You like football?
I don't know much about it.
Okay, well, the best wide receiver in the league has been in the league about 4 years. He catches 1,000 balls a day.
Damn. Who does he play for?
He plays for the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
CJ Stroud, who's from Rancho Cucamonga, he's the best because he puts the work in, and he's only 22 years old, and he was the best quarterback in the world. It was his first year ever in the NFL.
Wow.
What about Djokovic?
Yeah.
How do you think he is 37 years old? He's going to probably break the record.
20 plus slams.
He might break Margaret Court's record.
Yeah.
And it's not. I listened to what he eats. I thought he was an alien. I just couldn't get. He talked about breakfast, and then
What does he have for breakfast?
It's food I've never heard of.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Some weird Slovakian.
Yeah, no, like throw in a nectarine or something I know. I don't even know the things that he was eating.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the whole video to get to lunch because I'm like, oh, no wonder this guy, he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
He just looks older because he has an older face.
Mm-hmm.
but he's 38, I think, 37.
Well, I think he learned how to play tennis during war. So being a
another
child
thing.
growing up in war will age you. You know,
Yeah.
you're 9, but you look like you're 14. You grow a beard because you're stressed.
I know you're close with the buddy system, and I am not, by any means, I don't hate anybody. You know that whole saying, I don't hate anybody.
I don't think you do.
No,
I do
just
believe you have very firm opinions, Johnny.
Yeah, I just don't like my time being wasted.
Yeah, you have unwavering opinions.
Yeah, too many. I'm like my mom. Rest in peace. My mom has so many fucking opinions. She's can shut her the fuck up. I'm like, Mom, we have to leave this party. We've been here. Your husband's...
Wait. We're almost done.
Yeah, your husband's outside in the car. It's been running for an hour.
Yeah.
Listen, that's fine. When I hear them saying they're always wanting to go home, they don't want to do this, they don't want to do that, their reputation is not very good. Now, if they want to change that, they will probably spend less time getting high and actually doing comedy. That's my opinion. But if William Anderson called me tomorrow and said, I got a problem with my hybrid, I know a great mechanic.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with personal shit.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go to their mics, because I'd rather let other people. I know they have, like, Angie sent me the list. There was like 40 comics.
Yeah, there was like
I'm
37 people.
I'm like, good. They got enough.
I saw that. I was like,
they got enough comics. They don't need little old Johnny. I'll find something else. It's fine, you know. And hopefully I'll see. I don't see you as much. I always like seeing you, and always like watching you work. But I'll go to one of your shows.
My goal is to start going to Chatterbox at least once a month, making the drive out there.
Trust me, after my show, I went back the following week.
You did the Chatterbox comedy night, the Sunday show, right?
Yeah, I've done it twice. Oh, yeah, that's where I got the Tesla clip.
Yeah. Did you have a good time? Seemed like a hot crowd.
Yeah, it was sold out,
yeah,
which was cool. I didn't know any of the comics. Some were on television. I'm trying to move up. The first time I did it, they put me first, the bitch spot. Then they put me second. So I want to move up because they don't see me. They don't really know me.
Yeah.
So the great thing about it is I love female comics. And the ones that they had were so fantastic. Like when a guy asks you, how do you want to be introduced on a show? What's your credits? I went up to her. I go, how about we do this to ease my nerves?
Yeah.
Why don't you make up a story about me, whatever you want to do, and then I'll go up after you and I'll just go off that story to get myself settled on stage.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, I can do that. You know, guys, they're just like, well, where are you from? You know, shut the fuck up. So she goes up there and says that this is my husband and I hope he dies soon. She went hard. I was laughing so hard when I got up there. I was like, I think I said, but you're my bad bitch or something. It was cool. And it made my nerves settle down because I'm a very hyper person for my age.
Yeah.
I'm in my 50s, but I've always been hyper. So I'd like to get my heart rate down.
Chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
And you don't do that with alcohol.
No, it's horrible. If I can get my heart rate at 88 on my watch, then I know I won't get cottonmouth. But if I get it above 90, 95, 100, I'm in trouble. So that's why I did good. Even Leo in his review.
Yeah, so if all you have to say was your pants were falling down, dude.
No, that was the first time.
Oh, okay.
First time was a horrific mess. I was nervous, and I was kind of disappointed. KJ was headlining. I'm like, dude, I do shows with this motherfucker all the time. Can't we have like an inch rate? You know?
Yeah.
But no, I asked him to come outside. He goes, you were calm. You were collective. The Taylor Swift thing when you put the mic down and went like this. I go, that's the gayest thing you ever said.
You just went...
I put the mic down on the chair. He goes, it was very dramatic. I go, dramatic? I was just worried that the fucking microphone wasn't going to fall off the chair.
Yeah, roll off.
Because I couldn't do it when I practiced it at open mics with the mic to do this.
Yeah.
And I've never done that.
It's funny seeing you. It's almost like two monsters.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and then it did not, you know, in the middle of it, I go, C's better be right about this.
Yeah. Because
I'm taking his word. Because he was very serious.
C's has a nose for the punchline. He definitely has a nose for the punchline.
He goes, yeah, I think that would be good. And I go,
sometimes I'll be listening to his bits and I'm like, where's he going?
Yeah.
And I love it that it's like, fuck, 'cause it sounds like I'm gonna talk shit on some people's style. But like,
Yeah.
misdirection is cool. But when it's absurd, it's like,
Yeah,
hey.
he's new. He does talk about absurd. He really likes camel toes. I noticed that.
His misdirection's silly.
Yeah.
It's not like really like he's just edgy for edgy's sake or whatever. It's for the most part he's being goofy,
Yeah,
silly.
I think that's who he is. He's like he was a
He's talking about
player.
using it like a credit card reader. You know, that
Yeah.
joke that you're talking about. It's hilarious.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
I think Nikki P is the one that I look at and I go, unlimited. He's just something about him. He can just get on stage and it's like he doesn't have a care in the fucking world.
Yeah.
And you don't even know what he's going to talk about. I don't know what that is. It's something that people are not. He's born with that. I don't really even know him that well. I always.
He's a nice guy.
I know you're good friends. So last thing, did he tell you what I told you? I said, tell Melissa, I don't know when I'm going to see her, to not listen to the buddy system on the podcast. That was horrible advice. And he goes, yeah, John, I'll tell her. But he never did.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And he's just kind of a soft-spoken, but when he's on stage, he's just very intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know.
He and I we had this little conversation where he was talking about getting a set ready, and I told him, I'm like, dude, you need to realize like your hot spot is when you're flowing, when you're free and you're just enjoying. Because when he's enjoying himself, it feels like the audience also begins to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
I really like him a lot.
Yeah, and it feels authentic. Like even sometimes, like when he'll say a certain bit that he's like used before, it feels authentic in that moment that he's saying it for the first time.
Yeah.
Which is really a cool feeling.
And you did great on all those shows that I referred you to.
Thank you.
They all came back, and the one backyard show you did. The guy, I always forget his name.
Alex.
Is it Alex?
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, she was fantastic," and Mario Rodriguez.
That guy has the biggest cojones ever for letting comics go in his backyard.
Oh yeah.
And tell jokes with the language we use, and all of his neighbors can.
That's crazy.
Hear. That's crazy, isn't it?
He uses. Yeah.
I thought about that. I was like, if I was doing this in my backyard, I'm all Leslie, Michelle, all my neighbors. What would they think?
That wouldn't be good. They did that during the pandemic at somebody's house in San Bernardino. But
it was a really cool show. It was super quaint.
That's cool. And then the Mario Rodriguez one, that one starts late. You probably got no sleep.
I slept maybe like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, don't you hate that? Oh, I hate that,
it was
especially
worth
after you eat something.
I had so much fun.
It's a great show. And
was
they
a
have
cool
the
show.
band. I did where the guy was dressed like Cupid. That was very strange.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy. I'm hoping that Sancho Sanchez puts you on a show.
Not just because you recommended me. I'll treat every show, big or small, big crowd, little crowd, with the same amount of respect and dedication. Because if I mess up or don't do well, who else do I have to blame besides myself?
All you
right?
have in this thing, that's what I'm trying to say. All you have is your reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be the biggest thing in the world, but if you're an asshole, what does it mean?
So when you say like the reputation of the buddy system, is that just what you're hearing through the grapevine?
I would just say the stuff that they say on their podcast. And I'm an avid listener. Matter of fact, I love it when they talk about comedy, but I'm not going to watch 3 grown men watch videos. I mean, what is this?
Yeah, clips and stuff like that.
Why would I do that? Not my age. Maybe a 15-year-old might like that. I don't know. But when they talk about comedy, it's the most hilarious thing I've ever heard. Because the shit that comes out of their mouth and the shit that they say, I just find it entertaining. Leo and I, we're just like, did you hear what they said? And sometimes I go, not really. Sometimes I have to listen to it over because I have the headphones where you talk to somebody, it stops.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those are cool. And I go, I got to rewind it. So I listen to it. I just think their reputation is exactly who they are. Like, your reputation is who you are. Mine is what I am. That's how you get a reputation.
Well, I wanted to say, Emil, I remember when I first started doing comedy like a year ago and I started hearing you on certain people's podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
They were referring to Johnny Gold, the bad boy of comedy.
That's the stupidest thing.
I think
William Henderson said that.
And so did the Brandon Sauer and Tapleshay from High Desert.
Brandon Sowers came down to First Amendment Pizza to feature, and I told them, I was in the back, I go, this could be a horrible experience for you. But we'll see what happens. Because he has a lot of, I love Brandon, I love Travis.
They're nice guys.
They're very cool, very nice people. But he tends to go hard on the trans community and the gay community, and that's just not, I don't like it. But hey, he had a great set, and everybody gave me a hard time for it. He goes, John, you thought it was going to be bad. And he was going to go, well, hey, Yeah.
Yeah. I got to ask you, how do you decide who you want to back up and who you don't really care for in the comedy scene?
Oh, I get along with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say there was a comic at Chatterbox that has the worst reputation. I'm not going to mention his name.
Can you tell me what the worst reputation is real quick?
Well, he just talks shit, and he's just not doing his shit. Everything is bad. Mm. He was sitting by himself, and so I went over and talked to him. We got in this great conversation about the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling. The soundtrack is amazing. Connor, as a musician,
I'll definitely have to check it out. Yeah,
Holy
I haven't
shit.
seen that movie, so yeah.
Yeah, the movie's great. I'm a movie freak.
You like movies?
Oh, I love it because my parents were actors, so I was babysitted by movies. That movie Drive is so... Oscar Isaac is in it. Oscar Isaac when he was young.
It won a bunch of awards, right?
I don't know what it won. It was just entertaining as fuck. And the soundtrack. So we just started talking. I felt kind of bad for the guy. I don't know if there's anybody that's ever said... When somebody comes up to me and gives me a fist bump, I just say hello. What are you supposed to say? I might walk through, and sometimes I'll get a little... claustrophobic?
Yeah.
And I'll have to go outside. There's too many people.
Yeah.
I don't think there's... Yeah, okay, I talk shit in the back. I make fun of people's comedy. But everybody I'm friends with, I don't know. Maybe there's people who don't like me. They can come up and tell me to my face. Or, I mean, how many times do I got to hear that I'm old? I mean, it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You know, when George texted me when Nick died, I didn't even think we had a problem. I went on a podcast and told them about a joke he did. They asked me about who do you think is good in L.A. and Orange County and the IE. And I just told them. And I guess George pulled me outside of Worthington's and goes, do you have a problem with me? I didn't want to tell him that you're so stoned I don't want to talk to you right now. High. Is it still stoned or is it high?
It's whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I said, no, man, you know, you're taking it the wrong way.
I think it's fun to say blitzed.
Blitzed. Okay, out of their
People
mind.
used to say that, right?
I think so.
Yeah, blitz.
Here's the thing. I don't hate anybody. I mean, I don't.
You don't seem hateful.
Oh, my goodness. I referred, all the bookers I referred to you, I referred to William Henderson.
Yeah.
And he said, thank you. And William Henderson doesn't give a shit if I talk shit about him. Never does. He goes, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about much. That's what's so cool about him.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
what's so cool about him is...
you know, he cares too much about his stand-up, though. You know, I don't want to tell people I have a job. I don't do this. I look out there. There's a black person. There's this. All this is like baggage on your... There's a good thing in acting called the theater of being, where they just say... See, acting is a little more liberal than stand-up. Because when you see Jessica Rosas... Is it Rojas or Rosas?
Rosas, I believe.
It's a very hard name to say for me.
I think it'd be Rojas if there was a J there instead of an S in the middle.
But if you see her, she is the prototypical stand-up. It's like setup, punchline, laughs per minute.
Yeah.
But when you look at it from an acting point of view, there's a lot more that you could do on stage.
Yeah. As far as your animation and
breathing
mannerisms.
exercises and not worrying, prejudging the audience, being in the moment, so to speak, failing. Their actors love to fail. And stand up, when you fail, it's bombing, it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
But that's how you get better.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing. We have a different view on comedy. I don't think that should be a meaning. Like, I mean,
Different
I've got kicked out of ice cream places for liking rainbow sprinkles. I'm not kidding.
What?
I got in an argument with this person in Beverly Hills.
Did they only have chocolate sprinkles?
No, it was a gelato place. It cost me like $50 for ice cream. I go, you got any rainbow sprinkles? He goes, how dare you?
Oh
and I
my
said,
gosh.
go fuck yourself. This is Beverly Hills. I don't give a, I just want. So I don't know. Maybe there
I
are
want
some
sugar
people-
on my sugar, damn it. Give
God
me
dang
sugar
it.
on my sugar.
That, I mean, I don't know.
As a fan of rainbow sprinkles, I'm with you. Do you
Listen.
get vanilla and rainbow sprinkles at Dairy Queen?
I've kind of gotten off ice cream. It's like I'm a heroin addict. I've
I
kind of
get
changed
it.
my diet a little.
I
But
get it.
You're wearing an Afters t-shirt.
I know. I'm like, he's wearing.
dude, let me tell you about after.
Tell us.
Nick Laney and I closed every afters in the LA County area. We've closed down.
Damn.
This is Nick Laney used to love to eat. Like it's
Rest
very
in freaking peace. Nick was a good. He was a good guy.
great.
Great fucking guy.
But the afters, he was fantastic. But afters ice, he loved to eat. Afters ice cream was so rich. Sometimes I'd have a couple bites and go, Nick, he would eat it. I'm like, God, the fuck do you eat this?
Oh yeah, I can't do it in the donut. It's too rich
I
in the
never
donut.
even had it like that.
Oh, it's nice.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
and they have
warm-
the baddest clothes. Matter of fact, if you go on their
That
website,
shirt is cool, actually.
If-
For
this
an
is-
Afters ice cream t-shirt, I was like, oh, that's cool.
this is like one of the worst ones. They have all these. They have snow cones. They have a rainbow sprinkle one,
Yeah.
but there's always sold out on their website.
They got a swag thing going on.
So you know what I do is I go to that mall over there in Chino, and they have an afters and they have the clothes. Yeah, but no, as far as that goes, if people want to think that I don't like them, I'm pretty sure there's some people that have done some stuff that I'm not proud of, and we know who they are. One particular person that still does comedy, and so of course I don't give a fuck what that person thinks of me. But for the most part, I don't want. I mean, Carlos Patino. I remember when he was worried about his kid being autistic during. This is before you started. It was during the pandemic. He comes up to me and goes, "Yeah, John, they diagnosed my kid." It was kind of funny over Zoom. I'm like, I'd get another doctor.
Yeah.
They got to see the kid in person.
Yeah.
He was worried that his kid was going to be autistic. But what we told him is that you're autistic. Your kid is smart as fuck.
Yeah.
You're the idiot. That's the truth. And his wife is gorgeous. So I don't know.
That's what Chantel and I are always telling him. We're like, your wife's too cute for you.
Gorgeous, charming.
She's so sweet.
You know, I get on Mike James because Mike James, we were not as close now because I've never seen him anymore. But I mean, me and Mike James, I've been in his house. I love his wife. He has a beautiful little baby. But I talk shit on him because I heard him on your podcast. He goes, you know, I see famous people bringing up notes. And I'm like, so what?
Yeah.
Get your shit together, Mike James. Doesn't matter if there's. He's like, on the recent podcast with the Buddy System, he goes, you know what I hate is I see these famous people and their openers are horrible. What does that have to do with your stand-up comedy?
Well, we all have something we want to gripe about.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Some of the open, I don't think you should. I think, listen, just do your work.
Yeah.
And you could talk shit. I love doing it.
Carissa, in the last episode, the one that's going to come out, we mentioned this little part where we're like, a lot of people seem to expect a lot out of comedy for themselves versus expecting more from themselves for comedy.
Oh, that's a good point.
And it should be more intrinsic, right? A lot of people look extrinsically for these motivators, like getting booked on shows, having people approach you after shows,
Sure.
doing good at an open mic. And these are all very extrinsic motivating factors, but intrinsically you got to want to do it for yourself, right?
Right.
Like when to compare it to music, you don't write a song only writing it for someone else to hear. You originally, every song is written, every joke is written originally for ourselves.
Yeah.
I do not care what people think about my music. It's my music.
Yeah.
Right. That's that's a great example. I think personally, a lot of comics write for the audience because they want to be liked and they're scared.
That's not to
Which
say
is
that wanting to that people liking your music isn't going to be like a positive thing.
That's a
and
natural, yeah.
Yeah.
It just don't look for it when you're doing it.
Yeah, well, you want people to like you when you're
Yeah.
on stage.
Everybody
of
does.
course, that's You want people to like you in regular life.
That should be a cherry on top and nothing more.
Right, but when you're writing I got to get a laugh every 3 seconds. I got to do this. I am moving over here. Or there's a gay person in the audience. A lot of these people are just the most important thing to me. But I know getting laughs is good, but it's being original.
Yeah.
So when I see Melissa, she's original.
The second I hear someone do a premise even parallel to mine, I'm like,
Right.
scrapped.
Yeah.
Or if I see it in a GIF or a meme, it's scrapped because then I'm just reaching for another piece of low hanging fruit someone else found.
You know what I think we should do?
Huh.
I think we should all, because I think George Ferrito, I saw it on Instagram. This is how you know about people. I wish this one girl good luck on getting past at the improv. She goes, how did you know that? And I go, Instagram, of course. I'm just sitting in my home watching television. I saw your face and I hit a heart. How else do people stalk people now?
Yeah,
she
yeah.
just was shocked. She goes, oh, thank you, Johnny. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah. It's like you posted it.
We should all get a bunch of us and go down when George Ferrito teaches comedy. And we should all show up at the improv.
Oh, at the improv school?
Yeah. Get like 50 of us.
Sell out the class.
Yay, George.
Have you ever done an improv class? Or not improv
I've
class,
done
sorry,
improv
stand-up?
I've done
stand-up
improv
comedy class?
classes for 2 years. I think they're invaluable.
Yeah? Did you do a stand-up comedy class or just improv
I
class?
would do one if I...
Yeah?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Oh, I'm a firm believer of the second you stop being a student,
Yeah.
you're basically brain dead. You should always be, in any topic, subject, or whatever, you should always be wanting to learn and grasp more.
I believe you're a servant to the audience. When you go up there, you're there to entertain them and you're to be nice to the booker, but to be yourself and just whatever good, bad, or indifferent, you just let it out.
Yeah.
You know, I know people when they first start out, they get, like, oh my goodness, I get that.
Yeah. It's scary.
I would do that if I played you in tennis. I'd be like, oh God, I hope.
Do you play?
Well, I mean,
I think you mentioned before you were really good at table tennis.
I played professional table tennis for 3 years. I was in the U.S. Open when I was 15.
That's badass.
That's super cool. I'll have to pull out my paddle.
Well,
I still have one. Yeah.
I had a small drug problem then too. That's the only time I did drugs because my mom got her second divorce.
You do a line of coke and
No,
play ping pong?
I saw
kidding.
people do coke. I said no. That I just smoked hash and I took acid and
Yeah.
I was like, I liked it. It was cool, but my heart wasn't into it.
Yeah.
Playing in the U.S. Open was cool.
Did you win?
No, fuck no.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, and I don't know if you know how the U.S. Open works, but to qualify for the U.S. Open, the reason I did is because I was like in the top 10 of my age group in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
But you can qualify as an amateur if you go through, like they even have it before the U.S. Open. They show the qualifying rounds.
Yeah, the qualifying rounds.
The first guy I played in the U.S. Open had one arm.
What?
Because he qualified, and I told my coach, I go, I can't play him. I would kill myself if I beat this guy. He goes, what's wrong with you? I go, what's wrong? I was high as fuck too. I was like, I don't know, but I had beat him and I felt bad. I just, my heart wasn't into it. But but tennis, I don't know. I can't play somebody as good as you. Golf, maybe. I love golf.
I'm not good at golf.
Yeah, either am I. See, you both get out there and the ball goes this way and it goes that way, and
sometimes before that riff night, I like to take my clubs and
do
hit
you
a
really?
bucket. Yeah, I mean, might as well get two birds. It's nice to be outside, get a little physical activity.
My dad was, rest in peace. My dad was obsessed with golf. He was a scratch golfer, and then he left me when I was 5. But one time he took me out on the course. He goes, "I'm going to teach you how to play. You play ping pong. Just use do this."
Yeah.
He was yelling at me after the second hole. Like, "Oh, this is what I missed that you left."
Yeah.
He goes, "You don't listen." I go, I can't hit it as good as you.
Yeah.
And so I get embarrassed when people are watching you.
Believe it or not, this guy right here is a really good golfer.
Used to be.
He was a
I'm
varsity guy.
probably a lot worse now.
I want to take a golf lesson.
He'll get behind you.
I could definitely help out.
He'll
with
hold your
lessons
hips.
and
Yeah,
stuff. But
'cause
I'm not going to hold any hips.
He's all, Johnny.
That's an
This
extra.
is how you do it, Johnny.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
That's when I'll start charging.
On TikTok, I'm obsessed with cooking and golf technique. And you're right. the Bobby Jones, which was one of the best golfers ever, he talks about the hips coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
I have a really good book that maybe if I come to a show that I know you're at, I'll try and bring it.
Oh,
it's a
cool.
really, really good book about just fundamental swings.
I want somebody to teach me.
Well, it's not funny. It's swinging in general. Yeah, you got to learn it.
Yeah,
there's such
I want
a
to
form
learn
to
the
it.
right swing and then
to
just
torque
copy it.
and-
Yeah.
Because I go back and the ball goes that way.
You know, there's an app for that. It'll, like, you just stand at 5 points and it'll kind of start tracking your wrist, elbow, shoulders. And when you set up to do your swing, it'll,
Right.
you know, overlay your posture over the way it should be. So you'll know, like, oh, I got to pick up my chest. I got to pull my shoulders back.
So all
And it
that-
helps
that's-
around with that.
That would have been a lot more helpful for me when I was taking it more seriously.
Right. Did you play in high school?
Yeah, I played 4 years varsity. So
Oh,
I've been
shit.
playing for-
You're awesome. So you
No,
could shoot
I haven't
like
played it seriously in like 10 years.
Yeah, but that shit
Like,
doesn't go away.
It's
You
muscle memory for sure.
You have the right, you know, the swing down and golf. It's just everything.
It's all
goes,
muscle memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything. I was pretty good on the par 3 because I would just take my 8 or 9 iron and then hit it like barely to the green. And then I was pretty good at chipping because it's for some reason there's not a lot of problems. And
Yeah,
putting,
shorter
anybody
swing,
can
yeah.
putt. Haven't you ever gone to the putt courses?
Yeah.
The little
Yeah.
with the windmill.
Yep.
So much
Yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I like
Love
schooling my
mini golf.
nieces when I go.
I got in an argument with my ex-girlfriend once in Chicago, in Indiana, in the middle of nowhere. She said I cheated at,
Mini golf?
yeah, and she left me at the mini golf place, and I was walking down. This
Even if
dirt
you
road.
cheated, why does it matter that much?
No,
dude?
I did not cheat. They have this thing where you hit another ball and it goes in. I go, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Fuck you," and then she just took off. And I was in Indiana somewhere on a dirt road. It looked like I was going to be kidnapped.
It's like Jeepers Creepers. Like,
Yeah. Luckily, it was in the daytime.
Yeah,
And she
you're
came
all
back
right.
and got me. She goes, "You don't know how to play mini golf."
She clearly took it very seriously.
Oh yeah. Probably why we didn't.
I have a hard time with people who take anything like that too seriously. You know what I mean? Because I don't even take myself that seriously.
Yeah, that is true.
It's a bummer when people do because it instantly makes them more boring.
I see some of these comics, and they're always writing things down, and then they be writing and writing and writing at the fucking show or at the whatever. I'm like, I think you should be somewhat prepared. Something should happen.
Yeah.
Before you go there.
You're 110% correct. A lot of
And that takes you to the book show. And then you're just like you were at the Back to the Grind, which is a great mic. You know, and then you'd probably be the same as if you did Mario's mic.
they run their mics pretty late though too.
I did not like that. I hate getting to a mic on time.
Really?
Oh, fuck that shit.
Why?
I can't get to Back to the Grind that an hour and a half early. Not if I'm doing other shows. So what I do is I get there, and I don't want to talk about that anymore, but listen, if I can get to Chatterbox 2 hours late, which I don't, I get there on the signups.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're like 27.
I think the difference with the buddies system, specifically Back to the Grind, is that place closes at like 9, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, Melissa, I know. I helped take the garbage out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like I think they just close absurdly early for a place that serves beer and wine.
I love how they're always wanting to go home, but for 2 hours they smoke weed in the parking lot. That's what I don't get. You could have spent that time doing stand-up comedy.
I get
Yeah.
it. I see your gripe.
I
But
gotta
that's how
I never
you-
put it on a Yelp.
That's how you practice. You know what I mean? That's how you play. Some
Yeah.
people, that's part of they like the hang.
I don't mind hanging out afterwards after I do what I'm there to do.
Yeah.
You know, whatever that is. Sometimes it goes good, you know, sometimes it goes horrific. And then sometimes it goes indifferent. You know that. But
Yeah.
there's no time, like you said. I think that's gone out the window. When I first started, there was no social media, so you had to talk to people.
Yeah.
And they would always tell you, well, it takes 10 years to do comedy. You got to live and die, kid. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
I don't really, that's where I get like, I don't know if I'm stubborn, but I don't really like to subscribe to those types of ideas. Like, oh, you have to do it for this long to be good. You have to do this to be good. You have to be broke to be good. You have to quit your job to be good. You gotta
live on the curb.
I'm like, why can't I be responsible and do well? You know what I mean?
I know people that have... There's two people that work for famous people that I started with. They still have regular jobs.
Yeah.
One works for Chris Rock. I think he might not have a regular job anymore because he gets paid. But then another friend of mine works for Whitney Cummings and Joe Coy. But that's his day job. He edits for them.
Yeah.
I don't know what that you can't have a 9 to 5 or whatever. The comedy is done at night, and it's very important. And it's hard for young people to do comedy because they don't have a lot of experience.
Yeah.
You need that life experience of having a job and falling in love and getting your heart broken and
experiencing new places.
Yeah, and guess what? All these mics start so late. That's where taking care of yourself. When I get home after I work, like tomorrow, I got to get up at 5:15, whatever.
Okay.
If I go out and Evans Brewing has an open mic, it starts after their show. I don't have any problem doing it, but that's because I don't do drugs and alcohol. Yeah. If I did, I would pass out after work.
Yeah.
I've been there before.
You'd be tired.
Yeah, where I can and have a couple of beers and then I just watch TV and pass out. I mean, I've been there before.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I feel as though that's one of your unwithered opinions, as your opinion on drugs and alcohol in the performance space.
Well, here's the thing. All these people that do drugs and alcohol that have been doing comedy almost 10 years, let's say tomorrow they said, I'm not doing drugs or alcohol. It will take them another 5 years to find who they are because now all these emotions. Have you ever met a comic that's quit? I just met a comic. He goes, John, I'm off drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
I've got all this energy. I go, Jesus. I was like, maybe you should go back on it because you're really popping out of your skin. He goes, how long is this going to be? I go, dude, it's going to take years.
Yeah.
Because you got to reform. You're going to be a totally different person.
Yeah, your brain is rewiring itself to a better position.
Yeah, it's like now you have all your senses. Now you're going to be able to feel, like you're going to be able to be vulnerable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you want to do it for 20 years, you're wasting 20 years of your life.
Did you hard quit alcohol? You don't?
No, I never was really I was a sports family.
Oh, okay.
My brother was like a major sports star.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I did drugs and alcohol or not any alcohol. I did drugs for 2 years in high school because I was depressed. Some guy goes, hey, I'm going to try this weed. I go, yeah. And then I just kind of like, I don't even remember high school. And then in the military, I drank a little. Maybe I did when I was like 28, 29. I drank a little too much.
Well, referring back to the episode with Jessica Rosas, the one that you listened to,
it was great.
I asked her about the if she partook in like the party mentality of comedy, and she mentioned that she would have a couple beers to loosen up, and then she didn't want to rely on that anymore, and she felt like the opposite effect, that she felt like rigid after drink, like no longer drinking.
Oh, she felt rigid.
And she had to like lose that. So I was like, oh, that's cool that she was able to that's what she said, right? Something like that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that it's cool that she was able to identify that before it got too far.
Well,
like what you're mentioning right now, 10 years of loosening up before stage, and then one day you're like, I'm going to stop.
Unless you are a android from another planet where it doesn't affect. Have you ever seen people in their 40s or whatever, you probably haven't, that have abused drugs and alcohol? They're not around very long. And if you're going to do this, like I said, if you're doing this for a hobby and you're just going down there and you want to get out of the house and you do have 6 or 7 beers, That's a lot of beers. Whatever the fuck these people do, have whiskey, or they're always putting shit in their mouth, or there's always got a pipe with them, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care, because you know what? Comedy's fun.
Yeah.
So good for them. They're out of the house. They're not watching fucking Dr. Phil. But if you're taking this shit seriously, it'll never work out. Ever. I don't give a fuck if you're Dave Chappelle or whoever. You can't last.
Yeah.
It's not feasible.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I am.
That's it.
It's nice to feel good.
Yeah, don't you like feeling good, fitting in your clothes and looking good?
Well, that's one of the things that I always, not always say, but I like to stay in shape. It's something that I always go for. And it's, I always say it's like one thing people cannot say about me. They can't say I'm lazy. They can't
No.
say I'm this. Because to me, fitness is something you
Yeah,
inherently earn.
Yeah, you're probably in way better shape than I am. But
You
I mean,
exercise daily, don't you?
I do. It depends. I don't like, now that I'm eating so good, I don't have to kill myself at the gym.
What did you eliminate from your diet? What was
I'm
Johnny
a
Gold's
vegetarian.
weakness?
I'm a vegetarian now.
Really?
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about being a vegetarian is you eat a lot of bread. Vegetarianism is very boring.
What made you go to vegetarianism? Not like because I'm assuming before you were just
Chicken
a typical
and fish.
omnivore, right?
No, I didn't eat red
No?
meat.
Okay,
no.
so
I
you
don't
were
think
like
it's good.
pescatarian style?
Yeah. I just got tired of it. And I got food poisoning when I was in
Okay.
Portland.
Yeah. Ooh, from a steak?
Chicken.
Yikes.
And I felt like I was eating.
Connor taught me about chicken paranoia. That's what you called it, right?
I don't think so. I don't remember that. But
When I told you why I don't like cooking chicken.
It's bad.
yeah.
You know, there's that people overcook chicken because they're always afraid that it's going to be underdone.
Yeah, I don't. My problem was ice cream, potato chips, caramel corn. I could go down the fucking line, man.
Damn.
I just eliminated all that for the last 4 months, and I've never felt better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Eliminated the processed foods and stuff like that.
Well, no, I'll still have I like Jersey Mike's. Their vegetarian sandwich is good, and I like pasta.
Yeah.
And there's salads. I'm really sick of salads.
Yeah.
You get really sick of those.
Yeah. I don't like lettuce, so
And
it's really hard for me.
I've bitten my mouth so much because I'm eating all these vegetables constantly.
Did you start chewing like a cow? Or
Yeah,
you
you're just like, what is
side
going
to
on?
side.
So I try to think of things. I make stir fries with rice, and I tell you what I really like. Carissa and I went out to a place in Hollywood after her podcast. I did. It was called Koi or something. I don't know. It's a vegetarian Chinese or Thai place. Oh, I could have that every night.
Do you eat? You're not eating any shrimp, no fish,
No,
nothing. Okay. What is your main source of protein right now?
That's a good question.
Beans and rice.
I like beans, rice, pasta. Probably not getting a lot of protein, I would assume. Cliff bars, I don't know if that counts.
Make sure. It's important.
Yeah.
It's hard to get I think it's 22 amino acids found in a like muscular cut of protein, whether it's chicken or meat or whatever.
Well, what can I get then?
I know there's a certain combination of legumes that you can do.
What's legumes?
Beans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but a combination because certain ones will have a specific type of amino acid. But there's like I'll look
Right.
it up and I'll send it to you when I find it. But there's a combination of them that'll give you the 22 essential amino acids that'll make and I put it in air quotes because people typically want to compare it to meat, but it gives you the complete protein.
Right. I guess you need protein.
Yeah, and me personally, I don't drink any pre-workout, no energy drinks, no
those are
protein drinks.
horrible. Oh, that was another thing I had to give up. I was obsessed with Jamba Juice.
Really?
My doctor goes every
so random.
I don't blame you. I'm a smoothie guy too.
I love smoothie.
Juice
But
it
I
up,
feel like
Jamba
juice it up.
Oh.
Juice it up's a little better.
my doctor,
Probably more sugar.
my doctor was like, "Man, you really what's with the smoothies, man?" Because
Hey, dude,
he goes,
what's with
"If
the
you
smoothie?"
really take a smoothie and break down the food groups," he said, because I see a doctor once a year for a physical.
Yeah.
He goes, "You're eating like 5 meals."
Yeah.
And I go, I always felt like I was pregnant after I ate a smoothie too. It just kind of, that's another thing. Like I've noticed.
Get bloated.
Yeah. I don't get bloated anymore. My gut health is great, so I like it for that.
Yeah. It feels good to feel good.
It does.
I always think about the chronic partier. That's what I'll call them as. And I'm like, shit, the way they wake up in the morning has to feel so horrible. And then you think about it, it's like that. I'm all those people. But
Right.
people with those habits, those guys don't know what it feels like to feel good in the morning.
That's what Joe Rogan said. He goes, feeling bad for a lot of people, that's normal.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
have lower back pain, tightness, migraine, shoulder pain.
Probably always tired.
Always chronic fatigue. And I feel sad for those people because I'm
Yeah.
like, small people always want to say it's like your nature or your lifestyle or whatever, but like life is the combination, the cross of those things. It's your genetics and it's your lifestyle. You can't blame one or compensate with the other.
Yeah. Well, you're always into fitness, so was I, and some people aren't, some people aren't, some people like alcohol.
One of the dorkiest things I always say is health is wealth.
Yeah, I like that. You know, if you ever want to put out, I was going to say, I know we're almost done, but what do you have any more questions?
We're chatting. We're having a good time.
Okay. Way to slow the podcast down, dummy.
Yeah, no.
That video that Angie did,
Yeah.
where she edited it, that if you ever have something that you want to put out, you could send it to her and she would do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fun. I've been not saying I wouldn't want to do that, but
no,
it
I'm
was
just saying in the future, you think
Yeah.
I wanted to do that? If they didn't, all those people didn't push me, I would have never done it.
Really?
I didn't want to buy, I said, all right, I'll get the video from Chatterbox,
Yeah.
$20, and they send it to you in a Google format.
Okay.
And then you send it to them. But, I send it also to Darby. He goes, you're very orange. He goes, I think the camera they used. So you get all this different feedback.
Yeah.
Stuff that I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about this shit. I just want to go on stage in person. Like it's the 1950s.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Lenny Bruce. And there's no cameras. You're just up there talking. And then people like you. And
then you move on.
yeah. But all these people I keep running into that are doing videos, like Darby and Angie and all the people that Owen Parker, Josh Plantain, and 7 and 7, they always got, you've been there.
Yeah.
They've got the whole camera, and Rick Bravo's interviewing me with one of these things like this. I'm like, all right, I got to get my shit together.
Content creation.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. That's what I use this for, like, for the most part, the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm very, how would I say it? Like, I hold my bits near and dear. I feel like
gotcha.
I'm not ready to let them out to the world
that's
yet.
cool.
So to let the world know a little bit of Melissa, that's what the pod
The funny thing
is for.
The funny thing about treating people correctly, if Shane Gillis, who's probably the hottest comic to come down, he wouldn't mind it if people fist bumped him. That's what pisses me off about some of this negativity of the buddy system. Not to get back to that, but
I get irked about the fist bump just because I don't like touching people.
well, that's different. If you don't like touching people, maybe you should carry a card like the Joker when the movie The Joker. Remember the card he had?
I found a good compromise now when people did good and so I'm like, good job. Like I'll clap at them. Like when they walk by, I'm like,
You know what you could do is you could carry a Catholic cross. You just go, good job.
no, I'll just let myself be. If someone comes
No.
near me, I'll be like, don't fucking touch me.
That's
like that.
That's different. I heard him on the podcast. You don't get a fist bump for signing up. Some of these people don't even know what they're doing. They come down there. They ask me. They go, "Where do you sign up?" I go, "Well, the people down there in charge."
Yeah.
I'll walk them down and go sign up. I go, "Hey, man, good job." That's who I am. They're introverted.
You're encouraging them.
They're
yeah.
introverted.
Yeah.
I get it. So I understand what they do. They don't want to talk to people. Why are they in this business?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, a lot of people in comedy are antisocial, wouldn't you say? Ironically.
Not after talking to me. I get about it. I've met so many antisocial people that I talk to, and I've got.
You find the pearl in every oyster,
I
or what?
go, this person hates me, so I'm going to really make them hate me now.
Oh,
Guys,
gosh.
I've talked to people where they've just nodded their head for 10 minutes out in front of a mic that I
Yeah.
didn't know anybody. I go, nice talking to you.
Bye.
I don't know. What's wrong with being kind to people?
Absolutely nothing.
I don't see a problem. I don't see him anywhere else.
I agree.
So-
I like being nice. I prefer it.
Don't people come up to you because you go down there on a regular basis and ask you like things, or maybe they don't? I don't know.
No one talks to me.
Well, that's weird.
I think I make myself semi-unapproachable.
Oh, okay.
Just because I'm
I'm going to quote. I love this part that you said to William Anderson. I got to quote this. Say that line again.
semi-unapproachable.
Princess. That shit cracked me the fuck up. I laughed so hard at the gym when you go, princess. So I started doing that at the show I was at. James LeBlanc, he was bitching. I go, princess. and James LeBlanc goes, what's wrong with you? Princess. I love that. Well,
It's
you're
true.
a princess.
I don't want to be. It just I feel like I naturally am because I'll sit down. I'm drinking a water. I'm not
Sure.
like I'm not shooting the shit. I'm not a loud, obnoxious person.
Right. Well, that's cool. I mean, but you're not. I never heard anything you being rude.
I hope not.
No,
Yeah.
no. Everybody loves you.
Yeah,
Everybody loves the people that I talk about. Sandy, C's, Nikki, you, Rick Bravo. These people are very approachable. I've had C's come up to me, and sometimes he was a jock in high school. I could tell because all jocks in high school love to hug you, and he goes, "Come on, John, give me a big hug." Yeah, I think that's great. That's my flow. Now, if whoever, I'm not just the buddy system, anybody else, Steve Hernandez, he doesn't really give anybody high fives. He just stays, he's working behind the bar, so I don't expect him. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying that it seems like sometimes they don't want people at their mic, but they get 37 fucking people. For people that hate people, they sure get a lot of people. It doesn't make sense.
It's the opposite for the law of attraction.
It's like the yeah. It's when I was on when I saw a show on Broadway, it was called Opposite Day about George W. Bush. He did everything opposite. It was fan. That's what they are. They're like, they don't like people, but they get 37 signups.
Yeah. Well, they provide a space for live comedy,
right.
which is a lot of people are seeking.
It's
that
fantastic.
Right now.
And I saw last time I was there, I saw a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
That one guy that dressed as a stormtrooper or something, and then he
Scout
did Trump.
Trooper.
Oh, Scout Trooper. I thought it was perfect. I mean, I thought Sandy was hosting. I thought he was going to say he was retarded, but he did it better. He said, "I thought you had cerebral palsy." I was laughing so hard. I go, "Now this is getting fun."
He said cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting that. See, that's like misdirection in the funnest way possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Do you like edgy comedy from the new people? I feel like that's what I'm getting a lot.
I didn't really see the time I've been down there. I just like some of these people that get up there. I think, the bad thing about stand-up comedy, I think when somebody goes to an open mic and they're about to try it and they look at these people and they think, God, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
I could do this. I never looked at it like that from an actor's point of view. I thought I could never do this.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them, they see what they see and they go, well, wait a minute. I can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, when I see a
It's
person,
a neutral thing.
Well, when I see a person play the violin, I don't go, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Or draw.
Yeah.
This comedy seems to be like, you just get up there. And I don't know. I don't know too many of the newer comics that go there. They're very new.
Yeah. No, they are for sure. Hell yeah, Johnny. Thank you for being here tonight.
I talked to you too much. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely not. It's fun. The shit talk is different for me. Not shit talk, but the talking
Right.
and saying names.
I don't
is different
know.
for
I
me.
heard your podcast with Will. You guys were shit talking pretty good.
Did we?
You don't remember?
No, I mean, there's so many episodes now.
Well, you were saying that you don't like, because I did some prepping before I came here. I wanted to hear it. You said that you don't like it when people tell you put that in your act.
Oh, I hate that.
Well, I don't mind it at all. I think that's very nice. I actually
from comics and people who understand comedy.
They're just trying to help you.
Johnny.
Well, there you go. You say, I'm Princess.
It feels
That's my code. I'm going to do that. I'm stealing your line. I'm going to have to send you some money on Zelle.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
That's
You
all.
take it.
I'm going to take that to Chatterbox.
I guess, should I remove the part where it feels condescending to me?
What do you mean?
Because to me, when someone's like, oh, something happens in our normal, beautiful day-to-day interaction, right?
Right.
And then they take that and they're like, oh, you can put that in your act. I'm like, can't we just live in this moment right now?
But they like what you do. Who says that? Your family?
No, not my family.
Who says it? People that you work with?
Yeah, people I work with, people
But
that I'm around.
when my brother or my girlfriend always told me, hey, you should, that's funny. And that would be the worst fucking thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus. I go, I'll try it.
Yeah.
That not you. You're a sweetheart. It's just that, hey, they got their own thing down there.
Yeah.
So, but I don't have to be part of it. And I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Because now there's 37 people. And they got all the people, so it's cool. I mean, you don't do the one spot, you go all out. CK has a mic. Unfortunately I won't be going to Chatterbox for a little bit because I've kind of like put my work in down there, and now I gotta do some other things. You don't want to go there too much.
Yeah. Keep it fresh.
Yeah, I come back in like a month.
Yeah. Disappear for a little bit, come back and surprise
I
me.
asked Steve this to get up the second time. I said, what's the path to getting on a second time? He goes, how would you like to do August 18th? I go, thank you so much, because I was doing good. But the next time I ask him will probably be during Christmas. But I'm going to ask him to go later in the group.
Yeah.
They have a lot of people that are on television. So, they go ahead of little Johnny.
Little Johnny.
But I mean, the guy that followed me was from the Comedy Store. He was okay. But I gave him all the buddy system information. I go, you'd be perfect with the buddy system.
Oh my gosh.
He was good.
Yeah.
And it's a good contact because he works at the Comedy Store.
Oh yeah, that is a great contact.
So then you all can, I guess I'm doing Papa Joe's. I'm probably going to have to run into some of these people, Connor. I might need to borrow your golf clubs. I'll just come in there with you.
No, I don't think this is going to spark any type of animosity.
Listen, I don't care because I heard you talk about Papa Joe's, and the weird thing is I was banned from Papa Joe's.
What?
For drinking too much water.
What?
I did a comedy show there, and the booker comes out and goes, "Hey man, the show, you were great. You're great, Johnny, but you can't come back here because he said you got too many refills of water." I go, "But it's water." He goes, "He just didn't really like the way you were about it because you kept asking for a new cup." That's all I know about Papa Joe's. Don't they have a little arcade in the back? I know. I thought the guy was kidding. He goes, "No, I'm serious."
It bothers me because the fucking owners are Lebanese.
Oh, that's cool. Maybe it's a different owner now, then.
No, it's not. The owner before was Lebanese too.
Oh, was it? Why is Papa Joe's so fucking
His name
popular?
wasn't even Joe. It was Jihad.
Is
you think
it-
anyone's going to buy pizza from someone named Jihad?
But Melissa, is it?
It sounds just like Jihadi.
Right. Do they have like an arcade in the back?
They do.
Oh, it is that place. I hope he doesn't remember me.
It's a new owner, so
Oh, brand new owner?
like a couple years ago, yeah.
Oh, good. This was a while ago.
The new guy's really nice. When he found out I was Lebanese, I got a discount on my pizza.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Of course I'll get the pizza. That's another thing for as a vegetarian. You eat a lot of pizza.
Cheese pizza.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm not a vegetarian. I eat a lot of pizza.
Yeah, I mean, no, I get pineapple, bell peppers. The pizza at First Amendment's okay. But Felipe's and Norco is good. Yeah.
I gotta give it a shot. I'm a big fan of pizza. I like Claremont's pizza at First Amendment.
It's not
They got
bad.
crispy pepperonis, doughy dough. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, you don't like the pepperonis.
No, the show. Remember that show that Lola had at First Amendment? No, not First Amendment.
Last chance,
Yeah.
last stand, or
Well, when I was going out to do a lot of shows to get prepped up for this Chatterbox, I knew I was going to bomb. Because when you're doing 6 or 7 shows a week,
yeah, statistics.
I bombed so bad.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "I'm going to give you a guest spot. Thanks for coming down, Johnny." I bombed so bad. When I was on stage, I held back from lashing out at people.
Yeah.
Because I know I started judging the audience. I looked out, I saw the guy with the Make America Great Again hat. And I was like, I can't get mad because the guy gave me an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I want to be professional. I just went, I got my pizza, and I went to another spot to have a better set.
I like that.
Yeah.
Don't fixate on the bomb.
Yeah. If it was an open mic, I would have told everybody to never fucking go to a comedy show, but it was a book show. Anyway.
Hell yeah, Johnny. Tell the people where to find you.
Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Gold 777. It's the gayest link you'll ever know.
Hey.
Yeah. I think nobody goes on Twitter anymore or X.
They can. Is it the same thing on Twitter?
No, it's JBC. I don't know what it is. Fuck Twitter.
All right, we'll put the Instagram on there for sure.
Yeah,
Thank
fuck
you.
Twitter and fuck Elon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Con. I love seeing Connor. I love you, Melissa.
It's always great.
Thank
We should
you,
have
honey. This
next
was fun.
time we can have everybody in here if you get more microphones.
We have one more mic.
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
Yeah,
I'm not a debate moderator, but I could give
No,
it
you're
a shot.
great. You're great at this. You're organized. Like you could get myself and William Henderson. That would be a good one.
Honestly, that would be great.
That would be a fun
great.
episode.
You can come sit over here with me.
No, I
we'll
did
just
a-
watch.
I did a podcast with George and William, and we were talking about comedy, and I said to William, I can't stand your pocket pussy joke. And the look he gave me, he wanted to kill me. He goes,
does the eyebrow, the one eyebrow up.
I tell you, I got a little scared because we were like, he was like here.
And he's not a small dude.
No, he could kill me. And I was just honest with him. I said, I just don't understand that you're a grown man. But like you could have like Nikki P and you could have C's or Sandy and George. Or
I
Carlos.
still have to have C's on. He's someone I haven't had
Oh
on
yeah,
yet, so
he's great.
He's coming up soon. I got to schedule him.
They're out there doing. Every time I see them, they're doing their Trump impersonations. It's driving me fucking crazy. Do they do that around you?
No.
Whew.
No.
They're getting pretty good at it, though.
Well, Trump's getting pretty good at it. It's like he's writing his own stereotype lately. It's what happens when people don't like silence, when they prepare what they're saying.
Yeah.
I must keep talking. I must keep saying things because I don't know what I'm going to say next.
Yeah, I do that all
So
the
if
time.
I keep talking, then I could think of what I want to
Yeah,
say.
he's evil.
Johnny Gold, he's a great guy. Great guy.
Melissa. I got caught up with Sandy and C's. We were doing it all at an open mic on stage. We were doing it. I'm like, dude, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Because you're starting to sound like Trump, Sandy, when you're doing your comedy. Get that out of. But yeah, I'm glad I haven't seen him for a while. For that reason.
I usually don't do impersonations myself.
I know, but they just kept talking to you.
Yeah. Oh shit. Hell yeah, Johnny. Thank you for being here.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.